Hey everybody, Sean from ShawneyFood.com. You know, in this show we talk about food you can make for yourself, your family, and of course your friends. Well, today I want to share something with you, and it's Indian spice prawns. We're talking about turmeric, curry, star anise, some flavors, cilantro, coconut milk, great stuff coming at you next. Okay, you know what we're going to do is we're going to have to devein these shrimp. You can find shrimp that are already veined, but these aren't. These are some big, colossal prawns that we're using here, and I love them. I've used them before, but we're going to have to take the shells off of them and devein them, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And then after that, I'm actually going to press them flatten them out. If you've ever went out and had prawns before, that's exactly what they do. They'll actually press those prawns out flat like that. But they take on a much bigger appearance, and I love them like that. So this is the prawn that we're using right here. If you can see that, it's pretty good sized guy. But we're gonna take all of this part out. We're gonna leave the tails on, and then we're gonna devein it and cut it right down the center there, and then spread it out. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's do it right now. Okay. You can take a look and see that on the top side that this has been cut and opened up. You did that when you're cleaning it. But as you pull the shell off, you're going to know on the inner part of this that you're going to see a gray line. And of course we need to get that out of there. You don't want to bite into that. We'll take a paring knife and just cut into that. And if we spread it apart a little bit, we can take our finger and pull that little vein line right out of there, just like that. And of course we'll wash our prawns before we're done. So now what we're going to do is spread that apart, and we're going to take our palm, press lightly on that, don't break it apart, but see how that butterflies out so nice like that? That's what we're going to do with all of them. So just repeat that with each one that you have. Okay, so you take a look at those, you can see as they're butterflied, they are kind of taking on a bigger appearance. And of course we want to wrap those in cellophane to keep them fresh, and we will put those in the refrigerator until we need them. Okay, so now it is time for our ingredients, and of course we have 1 can of coconut milk we're going to use. We're going to use a little bit of whipping cream. We're going to use 2 mandarin oranges squeezed into the sauce, and some green peppercorns that I picked up, delicious, and of course 1 mango. And then I'm going to use some turmeric, the magic ingredient, a little bit of curry, we need that, some paprika, and of course that product, Cow Camp, which is a garlic seasonal that I use for a substitute for salt. We're going to use some star anise. That's going to add that wonderful Indian flavor. And of course some red pepper flake. You definitely got to put some of that in there. And we're going to add some honey and cornstarch if needed, and of course some cilantro and a half onion. And for this next step, you want to take your onion and you want to slice it into little wedges. That's the way I did it before, and it came out great like that. So just be careful not to cut your fingers, but nice little wedges like that, and then we'll be putting that into a separate saute pan. Okay, we got our 2 pans here. The one to the left, we're going to saute our onions and mango in that. To the one to the right, we want to put our coconut milk in, 1 can of coconut milk. You can see it's kind of chunky, but as soon as we start to heat that up and stir it up, it's going to break down and get nice and creamy. Okay, so continuing to stir, now we are going to add in our honey, which is about 2 ounces of honey, and continue to stir that, of course. And this sauce is going to take you about 45 minutes to maybe an hour to make. You'll notice it as you start to stir it. It'll start to thicken up there. Now we're adding the turmeric. That is about a half a teaspoon of that, and then I will add in another 1 teaspoon, a full teaspoon, so 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric, and continue to stir that in. And so you're going to start to taste this as you go. Take a little spoon and taste it, and it's going to be nice and sweet. It's going to be a wonderful sauce, and it will continue to thicken as we go. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pepper flake. That will give it heat, so we have the sweetness and heat together. Works very well. 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika to build and add to that flavor. And of course this dish wouldn't be what it is without adding a little bit of curry. continue to build that, and we will stir all of this together and continue to cook our sauce as we are building all of these wonderful flavors together. Okay, it's time to add some butter. And of course we want to put a little bit of our green peppercorns that I'm adding to that. That'll make it nice. Add in our onions and shuffle those around. And I'll have that butter. Of course the star anise is going to be nice when that gets in there and the heat gets in with the butter, the onions. Those will work wonders, and of course we'll be ending up putting those into our sauce. Once we saute the onions and get them nice and tender, we'll add those to our sauce. Of course, we're going to add our little garlic mixture that I told you about. Now it's time to add in our fresh mango, mixing in, of course, some fresh cilantro with our onions and all of that together. It's going to build just the wonderful flavors that we need to have that Indian spice sauce that we need with our prawns. And once I've added that mango in there, I cook it for about another 5 minutes and let everything get nice and tender, and then I will turn that over into the sauce and let that simmer. Okay, now we're going to take our mango and onions and spices and put it into the sauce, and we will continue to let that simmer. Now it's going to take some time for that to simmer, and I am going to add about 3 ounces of heavy whipping cream, and that's going to be just fine to let that thicken up. And I did say before you could use some cornstarch if you needed to do that, and of course I did on the last time I made it, but this time didn't need to do it. The simple reason was I cooked the sauce longer, and that's what you want to do, so be patient with that. And when you go to stir in this cream like I'm doing right now, you will see that that sauce will thicken up and you won't have to use that. So just be patient with it. You want to take a little spoon and keep tasting that, but you're going to love this sauce. Your guests are going to love it. You're going to be, well, like I say, a superhero. Delicious. Okay, now we've got our 2 mandarin oranges. We're going to squeeze the nice fresh juice into that sauce. That is just, again, going to add to our flavors. Of course, we got to wash our hands before we do that. And we're going to move right on, and this sauce is getting better and better. Okay, it's surprise time. Well, we really need to have something to set this dish on, right? And polenta works great. And that's what I used last time, so I wanted to share that with you. And I'm going to show you this is how you make it. Okay, you're going to need 2 cups of boiling water. I used a little chicken stock to add a little flavor to that, and that's all I want, just a little bit of flavor to that polenta, not that much. This will take us about 25 minutes to make this. And you can see it will start to thicken up, and we want to add a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt to it, and then we're going to put that in a double boiler in the back of the stove and let that simmer, and eventually when we need it, we will take it out and put our shrimp on top of it. Okay, so you can see I'm just continuing to stir this, and it's about time to put that on our double boiler. We'll put a top on it and set it aside. Okay, it's time to put our prawns on the barbecue. If you don't have a barbecue, you can always cook those in a pan. Substitute would be fine. Remember, don't overcook those though. Only about a minute on each side and should be fine. And then we will add those to our sauce. Okay, I think it's just about dinner time. And hello, prawns. Yes, right into that sauce. Mix them up, let them dance around, get them covered, and it's going to be dinner time. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope you are. Yeah, we'll cover them, let them simmer for a couple of minutes. Don't worry if it seems like they're not cooked. That's why I told you when you have them on the barbecue, don't overcook them. Take out a spoon, make sure they're basted, and then we'll put the top on for about another minute, and we will be ready to eat. And here we've got our bowls. We'll put out our polenta, and it's time for our dish. Okay, well, we wiped up our plates. We're ready to go. How about that sauce? Let's put a little bit of that on top and let that soak into the polenta. And we are ready to serve our dish with a little bit of cilantro on top. Let's go. Okay, well, you know what? My wife Danielle's on the scene right now. Say hi, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
There you go. She's going to have some of the delicious Indian spice prawns that you just saw me make. So, you know, better for her to tell you how it is than me. Listen, she's pretty honest too. What do you think?
Better than the first time.
Better than the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I love the creamy polenta. Polenta really. It's a great conveyor of the flavors of the sauce.
That's the word you were using. I was looking for. I was thinking catalyst, but conveyor, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. So hey, so that's another show, right? You know, if this is your first time checking it out, consider subscribing. And if you do, ring the bell and you'll be notified of the next show that I come up with, right? That's right, that's right. So, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have the ingredients and directions down below so you can check it out and make this. You're gonna be a hero. You have folks come over, family come over, they're gonna go, oh my God. Once again, right? You can do this, all right? So, hey, I'm Sean from SeannyFood.com, and I'll see you on the next video. I think she's loving it. Yeah? All right, see you later.